The UN chief said in a statement Sunday that there was much work to be done to ensure an orderly political transition to renewed institutions in Syria, and reiterated his call for calm and avoiding violence, while protecting the rights of all Syrians without distinction. This was Guterres echoing those sentiments when he spoke to reporters on Thursday.
It's time for serious dialogue. In other words, to restore Syria's sovereignty, unity, independence and territorial integrity, and meeting the legitimate aspirations of the Syrian people. Syria is a crossroads of civilization, and it is painful to see its progressive fragmentation. During my tenure as High Commissioner for Refugees, I witnessed the immense generosity of the Syrian people, opening their hearts and their homes to countless Iraqi refugees. There were no refugee camps in Syria. Refugees lived among the Syrian people. And it breaks my heart to see their suffering grow along with the threats to regional and indeed international security. I once again urge all those with influence to do their part for the long-suffering people of Syria.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights also calling for a political transition that ensures accountability for the perpetrators of serious violations and guarantees that those responsible would be held to account.
It is true that the ICC is not going to replace what needs to happen in Syria itself, is to build up a domestic legal system that allows for fair trials in relation to all those where indeed there are serious grounds to believe that they have committed atrocity crimes. And that goes also for the president or the former president of Syria and whoever was in senior leadership positions. There are indeed serious grounds to believe that they may have committed atrocity crimes, and as a result, yes, they should be brought to justice. And I do not see this different from a transition process.
The United States President called Assad's fall a fundamental act of justice, a historic opportunity, but also a moment of great risk.
As we turn to the question of what comes next, the United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risks. The shot for all this is, for the first time ever, neither Russia nor Iran nor Hezbollah could defend this abhorrent regime in Syria. And this is a direct result of the blows that Ukraine, Israel have delivered upon their own self-defense with unflagging support of the United States. Our approach has shifted the balance of power in the Middle East. Through this combination of support for our partners, sanctions, and diplomacy, and targeted military force when necessary, we now see new opportunities opening up for the people of Syria and for the entire region.
And as many Syrians celebrate the seismic political moment in their country, after a 14-year conflict that killed over 500,000, displaced 13 million internally, with almost 7 million now living as refugees, a future that is at best uncertain.
The path for Syria's future is often sold as one filled with chaos, unrest, and uncertainty, and by others who are on the ground and celebrating still are ones who think that things will be rosy and all good news. And I think it's not one or the other. It's going to be a mix of both. And mindful that this is a work in progress. It's as good as you can make it be. That's where the international community can come in and support the Syrians in what they think is best for them.
As the United Nations vows to honor the memory of those who have borne the brunt of this 14-year conflict. An analysis by the non-partisan Atlantic Council think tank based in Washington, D.C. says that while the future of Russian military bases in Syria, the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces in the northeast of the country, interim governance, counter-terror activities, and Syria's new role in the region may need months to take shape. But what is more clear is that Syria would be ruled in the future by an opposition coalition with the support of a majority of Syrians. The UN mediation role led by Special Envoy Geir Pederson towards stable and inclusive transitional arrangements that will enable Syrians to chart a way forward remains ever critical. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.